Everyone, in today's video, we're talking about why taxing the rich alone will not save Social Security. There's a lot of people who believe this, but I'm backing this up with facts today, so stay tuned. Hey, I'm Devin, Carroll, and on this channel, I break down Social Security and make it easy to understand. If you are planning for or living in retirement, this YouTube channel is for you. So be sure to subscribe and click that notifications bell as well so you won't miss anything that I publish. So one of the most popular suggestions that I hear for fixing Social Security is to simply increase or eliminate the maximum taxable wage base, thus making high-income individuals pay the same as everyone else. So it's widely believed that the issue with the Social Security system is income inequality and a system that's stacked in favor of the wealthy. Now, while it's true that income inequality does exist, there's data for that, I did want to find out if the insolvency of the Social Security Trust Fund could really be fixed by simply raising taxes on the wealthy. Thankfully, I didn't have to launch my own research project on this or hire a room full of PhDs to do this. The Congressional Research Service has already done the heavy lifting in this report, and this was updated in late 2018 as well. And in their report, they get into the implications of increasing or completely eliminating the maximum wage base. But before we get into their findings, let's take a look at what the issue actually is. Currently, in 2019, the first $132,900 in wages is subject to 12.4% in Social Security taxes. So wages over that amount are not subject to that tax. So this leads a lot of politicians and talking heads to suggest that the easy fix to all of the Social Security funding issues can be found within two options, both of which involve raising the amount of maximum taxable earnings. Option one is to completely eliminate the maximum wage base. So if you make $1 million, you should pay the same Social Security taxes on that full million. The other option is to have a gap where the current maximum would stay in place, and if earnings exceeded a certain amount later on, then the maximum wage base would kick back in. And there's been amounts suggested all the way from Bernie Sanders with $250,000 to John Larson's plan with the Social Security 2100 Act, where it comes in at $400,000. And then there's been a couple suggested as well at $300,000, or at least that's a number that the congressional research examined as they were doing this paper. But one of the big conundrums that increased taxes brings on is if the cap is modified, do the increased taxes add to a Social Security benefit? So for example, if my current benefit at full retirement age is $2,500, but I begin having to pay additional taxes for Social Security on an extra $300,000 of my earnings, do I get credit for that? Will my eventual benefit be larger because of those additional taxes? So there's been a few suggestions around this, but it's mostly split between not giving any credit for the additional taxes paid in and an approach that would use a new formula to credit a small part of the taxes to a benefit. And those are the two scenarios that I want to look at. There's some others mentioned in this report. But first, let's look at the most obvious and clear-cut method. What if the taxable base was completely eliminated? So if there's no credit given to benefits, and those tax dollars paid in have no benefits returned, it would fix about 83% of the 75-year Social Security Trust Fund shortfall. But if the current formula is used, which it won't be, by the way, this would fix 68% of the shortfall. But if they eliminate the maximum wage base and use the new formula, which would credit the increased taxes to your benefit somewhere around 2 to 3%, it would fix 76% of the shortfall. So then we move on to the threshold, or what I call the gap method, and you see similar results there. So if you have the gap where you pay no tax on the first $132,900, and that amount is indexed for inflation, by the way, so it goes up every year, and then you have the tax that kicks back in at $250,000, this would fix 75% of the shortfall. At $300,000, it would fix 71%, and at $400,000, it would fix 67% of the shortfall. So does it seem like something is missing here? The closest that any of these get to fixing the shortfall is the method where the taxable wage base is completely eliminated and there would be no credit to an individual's future benefit amount. I think it is likely that a Social Security payroll tax increase will be part of the overall solution. But by itself, it will not fix the problem, as some like to say. So next time you hear someone shouting that, tell them that you know better now. So here's where I'd really like to hear from you. Do you think the maximum cap should be eliminated or raised? And if so, how much? Let me know in the comments below. Also, remember, this is your retirement. Continue to learn and stay informed. You're making the right moves by watching videos like these, but don't use this as specific advice for your own situation. Do your own research, talk to your own advisors, but most importantly, continue to be curious and learn and educate yourself. You can further that learning by subscribing to this channel if you haven't already, and then watching the video you see on the right-hand side of the screen. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day.